We are going to talk about distance. Last week, if you remember, we did a little bit with midpoint, which was the middle point in between 2 points, and today we're doing distance. So basically all distance is the length between the 2 points. And the formula for distance is right here. Distance equals the square root, parentheses, of x2 minus x1 squared plus parentheses y2 minus y1 squared. Now don't let these subscripts of x2, x1 scare you, because all that means is it's the first point and then the second point. And remember, our points are always listed x, then y. So your x always comes and then your y comes second. And when you guys did your midpoint quiz, I did notice a few of you had listed your points y and then x. All right? So on your worksheet, I've got some follow along. So this is your distance formula. The square root of x squared minus x, or x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So the first example on your worksheet is find AB, line AB, when A, point A, is -4, 1, and B is 3, -1. So my x here is -4 and my y is 1. These are my first set of points. So these are going to be my x1, y1, and my x2, y2, my second set of points is 3 and -1. So finding AB means you're going to find the distance between AB. So it's how far is this point to this point on this line. All right, so I'm going to go square root. All right, x2 is 3 minus -4 squared plus y2, so -1 minus 1 squared. All right, so we've done this before. We're going to use our song, same sign, add and keep, different signs subtract. Take the sign of the bigger number and then it'll be exact. So we're going to switch these two to a plus plus. I don't know if you can see that. Let me use a different color so you can see a little bit better. So it's going to become plus plus. So 3 plus 4 is going to give me a 7 squared plus -1 minus 1. Same signs, add and keep. So I'm going to get a -2 squared, and this is still under the square root. Now, and remember, you can always use your calculator. The beauty of this is you've got your calculators, you've got your phones. I'm not on you about having your phones out. You can use your phones while you're doing my work. Okay? So 7 squared is 49, because that's 7 times 7. -2 squared. So we're squaring the entire thing, the 2 and the negative. So -2 times -2 is 4. Square root. So now I've got 49 plus 4. When I add those two numbers together, I'm going to get the square root of 53. Well, I need to find the distance of the square root of 53. So you're going to take the handy-dandy calculator or your phone, you're going to hit 53, and all you're going to do is your square, whoops, sorry, I've got it, I always show this, your square root sign right here. So I'm going to hit the square root sign, and I get 7.280. So I'm going to have you guys round up to the hundredths place. So my answer is 7.28, and that is the distance between those 2 points. So how far apart are they? 7 and 28 hundredths. Miss, that doesn't make sense. How could it be 28 hundredths? Well, because if it's not exact, this could be a line like this on the graph. It could be like this. It doesn't have to be a perfectly straight line. It could be diagonal. Because our next lesson is going to be, well, we're going to do midpoint distance again, and then we're going to do it on a graph. So we're going to be looking at it a little bit different. So that's why it looks that way. Okay, so we got to do this one now. Find EF when E equals -7, -2, and F equals 11, 3. So find EF means to find the difference between E and F. So I've identified my x1 and my y1. This is my first set of points. And my x2, y2 is my second set of points. So we know our formula is the square root of x2 minus x1. So my second set of points, x2 is 11 minus x1, so 11 minus 7, plus y2, which is 3, sorry, I blanked out there, minus y1, a negative 2. And we need to square both of these. All right, so now, negative and a negative. So we're going to keep, change, flip. Remember, or Kentucky's chicken is fried. So 11 plus 7 is 18 squared, plus keep, change, flip, or Kentucky's chicken is fried. 3 plus 2 is 5 squared. And you can just plug that into your calculator. So now, I'm so sorry, I'm trying to find a color that you'll be able to see. All right, so when we plug 18 to our calculator, we're going to get the square root of 324, and 5 is going to be 25. So 324 plus 25. Add those two numbers together, and we get the square root of 349. I don't want this just the square root of, I need to find the actual answer. Take your calculator, 349, square root, round to your hundredths place. So it says 18.681. So my answer is going to be 18 and 68 hundredths. Hopefully everybody's following me and is along with me. All right, we got one more to do. Hang tight for a second. Okay, last one. Find the distance between the pair of points. They can be written that way as well. x1, y1, x2, y2. So we know its distance equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus the square root of y2 minus y1 squared. So what are we going to do? Same thing. I've got my x1, y1, x2, y2 labeled. So negative 7 plus x1, whoops, plus, well, let's do it this way. Negative 7 minus a negative 4 squared. So when I have that, it's going to become plus 4 squared, because minus a minus becomes a positive. Sorry guys, I jumped ahead of you. And then y2, okay, we're going to start over. Miss Essence messed up. Won't be the last time. Start that one over, scratch that out. I did my y's. x2, 3, minus negative 4. There we go. I knew something didn't look right. Plus y2, negative 7, minus 6 squared. Does that look right now to you guys? If I do that right, let me check my answer key. See what happens when I don't have my answer key in front of me? Negative 7 minus 6. Yep, okay. So now, as we just said, minus a minus becomes a plus. Or you can type in 3 minus 4 negative, and you get 7 squared, plus 7 minus 6 is going to be a negative 13. Same signs, adding key. We know that 7 squared, 7 times 7, is 49. And then 13 squared is 169. Negative 13 times negative 13 is a negative 12. Because multiplying and dividing use same sign, use same sign. You will get a positive, you will get a positive, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. So because it's a negative times a negative, we're going to get the exact same sign. Add 49 and 169, and you will end up with 218. So now just plug into your calculator, 218, hit the square root sign, and you will get 14.76. Okay? So that's how you find the distance. So So like last week, I am going to post an EDSB lesson. It is important that you watch these videos. You'll have 4 or 5 questions to answer, and then you'll just submit it through EDSB for me. I'm trying to do that to make it a little bit easier for you guys so you don't have to download worksheets for me. And then later in the week, I am going to have 2 lessons this week. I'm sorry. You'll just do a quick one on midpoint and distance, okay? Hope you guys are doing great. If you need anything, reach out to me and let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.